Yeah. You see, boy, DP, Bobby hit a little bit, Bobby hit a little bit, Bobby hit a little bit, 'cause I'm working. You see, the dream killers. Hey, welcome to another Bible chat with your boy Paul, and this is my girlfriend
Kayla.
and we just coming with you with another Bible chat. And today is going to be on Romans 2. But just so I can recap, last week we talked about Paul and him writing the letter to the Jews and the Gentiles, and him coming to the Romans and to share his gospel. And pretty much this is a letter going to them to reveal to give them a sample of what he's coming there to talk to them about. So I hope you was able to read that Romans 1, but this week we're going to talk about Romans 2.
Deuce.
Woo! And it gets rough, don't it, baby?
Yes, it does.
And I mean,
Rough in a good way.
rough in a good way. And just bear with me. So last week, like I said, we talked about the God's wrath. So this week we're talking about God's righteous judgment. And we would talk about the Jews and the law. And it all ties together on judgment. So Romans 2, pretty much, don't judge me or don't judge anybody in this world. We have no room to judge anyone. We can't condemn no one to hell. We're no better than anybody. You know, there's no one sin that is greater than the next one. Or, I mean, we all have sinned. There's no one that can say that they didn't do a big part in the death of Jesus. Right here, where it says in Romans 2:11, for God does not show favoritism. No one is safe from God's wrath. You know, but for those who are self-seeking and who reject the truth and follow evil, there will be wrath and anger. There will be trouble and distress from every human who does evil. First for the Jew, then for the Gentile, but glory, honor, and peace for everyone who does good. So he's saying no one is free from not getting this judgment. We all will be judged. Whether you Jew, Gentile, it don't matter how high you are up in the church. You are being judged as well. Just because you this high on the pedestal and someone's this low doesn't make you nowhere better than that person down there. Anything to say?
Yes. I think you mentioned Romans 2:11, which I think of this chapter might be my favorite verse, and it's a very short verse. It just says, for God does not show favoritism.
Yes.
And I think that speaks volumes, especially in the context of this book, because I think we'll see a lot of times where Paul is making a distinction between like the Jews and the Gentiles, or he'll keep talking about the Jews and the Gentiles. And the fact that God does not show favoritism is important because you have the Jews who are supposed to be following the law of Moses and supposed to have this special covenant with God because of that law, but they don't be following it. Yeah. They know it very well, but they don't always follow it. Or maybe they follow it, in public when they're out in front of everybody, but then when they're in private in their homes or what's actually in their hearts is not what they know the law to be. And so I think this first part of the chapter really harps on two major things. One, God does not show favoritism. He does not care if you are a Jew, if you are a Gentile, whatever. He doesn't care how well you know the law. He cares about whether you actually turn away from your sin and actually follow the laws that he has. And then the second part of that is in verse 16, where he says, and this is the message I proclaim, that the day is coming when God, through Christ Jesus, will judge everyone's secret life.
Yep.
And I think sometimes we forget as humans that God literally knows everything. He knows not only the stuff that you do that people see, he knows the stuff that you do that people don't see. He knows the thoughts that you think that other people don't get to hear. He knows all of that stuff. And so whether you are, you know, a Jew or a Gentile or whatever, God will be judging those things that you do. And so I feel like the first part of this chapter, those are like the two most important points. There's something else I wanted to say, but now I have forgotten.
Okay, well.
Go
ahead.
I think that he also starts to make the point that further like speaking on knowing the law versus actually obeying the law.
Yes, exactly.
And he talks about in like verse 12 through 15 how you have the Jews who know all the laws but they don't really follow them, and then you have the Gentiles who don't know the law at all, but instinctively they know how to follow it because they are really like listening to God and letting God speak to their hearts and letting the Holy Spirit tell them what is the wrong and right thing to do. And so knowing the law and obeying the law, I think he's just further making that distinction that it's two different things. And I feel like that's one of the major themes in this book, in the book of Romans, is knowing the law and obeying the law are two different things entirely.
Exactly. To piggyback what you said, like, you know, during this time, Jews were, let's say, give an example right now, the people that's higher in whatever church you go to, they are the Jews. And Gentiles are the people that come to the church and randomly come in. The regulars, right? Sinners. So that's the Jews. In our case, we have people that's high on the pedestal judging the ones that's coming in, the sinners. But the people that's high on the pedestal are sinners as well. And you judging him, you're sinning now. You're sinning as the sinner is coming in. So, I mean, how can a sinner judge another sinner? Y'all both are sinners. So it doesn't matter how big that person's sin is sin. Sin is equal. Pretty much that's what that's talking about. And now we're going to move over to the Jews and the law. Now, the main thing I want to go to on this one is it starts with you then, Romans 2:21. You then who teach others, do you not teach yourself? You who preach against stealing, do you steal? You who say that people should not commit adultery, do you commit adultery? So we're so quick to point fingers at others. Or are you teaching yourself, or do you teach as if you're sinless because you're the minister, the pastor, or head of the church? You know, in the choir because you feel like you're on a higher pedestal? Or I do a whole bunch of volunteering. Does that mean that you're doing better than the person that's not doing? No. You check yourself before you can check someone else. And there's nothing wrong with telling the person you wrong for doing this, but don't be like, oh, because they gonna go to hell because they do this. You have no room to know. You don't even know that. You don't even know if this person's gonna go to hell because of that. And there's a lot of folks, a lot of people that we know about in the Bible that done way worse stuff that we do now. And God used them for his glory. So there's no one that he can't use. So make sure, you know, if you're going to preach, practice what you preach. I'm sure you heard that before. Practice what you preach.
Those verses that you were just talking about reminds me like when we were kids and they used to be like, if you point the finger at somebody else, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you, or whatever they used to say. But that's what it's like. It's like if you are going to spend your time trying to judge someone else's actions, that means you're less focused on what it is that you're doing that God could eventually be judging you on. Mind your business.
Mind your business.
Mind your business. That's all. So yeah, I definitely feel you on that part. I feel like this part of the chapter also talks about again, like the people who are Gentiles
Mm-hmm.
and them being able to obey the law
Mm-hmm.
better than the people who claim to know the law so well.
Yeah.
And I think that we can definitely see that sometimes now in church or in people who, they know all the scriptures and all that stuff, but they have a hard time actually obeying it.
Exactly.
And I know, me personally, I can say that I feel like when you grow up in church, like from when you are a kid all the way into you're an adult, it's easy to fall into that. I don't want to call it a trap, but it's easy to fall into that cycle where you know all the scriptures, you know all the law per se, you know what you're supposed to do, but then trying to obey it becomes an entirely different thing. And trying to find that distinction between, yes, I know all of these scriptures, but am I actually obeying what God's telling me to do? I know that can get difficult, and the lines can get kind of blurred. So, yeah, it's just important not to lose focus and to periodically do a heart check.
Yes,
Make sure your heart is in the right place when it comes to this.
Yes, I know me personally, before I got baptized, I thought I was good. I felt like I did everything I needed. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. I wasn't out here trying to make babies or anything. But it was a lot of stuff that I was missing. And, I came to realize when I talked to my minister, and he revealed to me what I've been missing. As a disciple, we are supposed to help people. We're supposed to keep the peace. We're supposed to be the salt of the earth, the light, that sits on, that reveals all the houses and everything. We're supposed to be that positive version of Jesus. We're not going to be the perfect version, but we at least will be the worldly version. Well, not the worldly version, but something that
there should be something different about us.
Yeah, it should be always something different, So, like she said, it should be, if a person comes to me, what do he see? Does he see Christ, or does he see the worldly side? So don't never think that you're too high in the church, that you could look down on people, that you could just, because that's one thing that people don't like coming to church now, because we have folks that would look down on folks when they're bigger than God. They're not Jesus. So
it says that too in
exactly.
verse 24. No wonder the scriptures say the Gentiles blaspheme the name of God because of you, because we be out here telling everybody what they are supposed to do or not supposed to do, and then we ourselves don't be following the same rules.
We don't.
It makes us look bad. We look fake.
But yeah, so that's Romans 2. So next week we're gonna go to Romans 3, and we will talk about God's faithfulness and righteousness through faith. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and make sure you read Romans 2 for yourself. Make sure you subscribe, like the channel, share with your friends, and you have a blessed day. Yeah, we need this for the video. For the church. Let's do some laughing. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. I need that. Oh, you just trying to do the video?
Hmm? What?
I'm getting all this for the trailer.
Oh, what?
What you doing?
Why are you acting? Just be normal.
I am being normal. That's being normal. Oh, I need that. Hey everybody, welcome to another Bible Chat with me. I'm Paul.
And I'm Kayla.
What you laughing She's so silly. But yeah, welcome to
That's
another
not part of
episode.
the video. Stop.
Thank you.